There are a few vowel sounds in English that are especially hard to make when English isn't your first language. Stay to the end of my list of the trickiest vowel sounds in the English language and some training on how to say them correctly. Vowels can be the most difficult sound because they sound so similar to each other. The differences are so subtle that you really have to tune your ear. So within my program, the Pronunciation Pro online training program, what I do is I wait, so I have a 12 module program, and I wait until modules 5, 6, and 7 to really address the vowels of American English, because it does take time and practice with some of the other sounds of English to really start tuning your ear enough to be able to start recognizing those vowel sounds. Okay, so it is a higher level skill, but today I definitely want to go through and start training and helping you learn these vowel sounds. The reason this is important to really understand these vowel sounds comes from maybe a story from a student of mine. His name is Jeff from Taiwan. And he was in a restaurant and he was asking the waitress for some bread. Okay, they wanted more bread at the table. But he was pronouncing it as braid. Can we have more braid? I need some braid. And the waiter was just a little confused, wasn't quite sure what they were asking for, and he kept repeating it, trying to get that message across. Eventually, the waiter recognized, oh, you want more bread? Okay, bread. And, they all kind of laughed about it, and they were kind of able to make light of that situation. But then he came back to me and said, okay, what am I doing wrong? What is it that is incorrect here? And I was able to talk him through, okay, it's the vowel. Everything else is the same between braid and bread, except the vowel. Okay, so that's the difference. When you just change the vowels, it can completely change the word and the meaning. So let's first go over kind of the long and short vowels. So American English has long vowels and short vowels. So let's see, A, E, I, O, U. There's only 5 letters, vowel letters in the American English alphabet, but there are about 20 sounds. Vowel sounds. So it can be really difficult to know, okay, when I see a vowel written, how is it supposed to be pronounced? And it definitely depends on, what's around it, and there are rules that go along with it. But in this video, let's just get familiar with the sounds and be able to do some listening exercises, because when you can hear the difference in the sounds, then you can start tuning your ear. And you don't need to know all of the rules, or it's helpful to know the rules, but when you rely more heavily on your listening skills, you can pick up on the accent faster, or in these pronunciations faster. For short vowels, a, I, okay? With the long vowels, it's a, E, I, O, U, okay? And those are just a few of them. But can you kind of feel the difference between those long and those short vowels? I can still say a short vowel long, so I can say ah, okay, e, I. So it doesn't matter about the length of the vowel, it's just kind of that movement. How long or short is the movement in my mouth? So here are the 3 most problematic vowel sounds that I come across over and over and over again with my students at Pronunciation Pro. So there's the short I sound versus the long E. So let's do a minimal pairs practice. So live, leave. So I usually say with a short I kind of give this I, because it's just up in the middle of the mouth, I, versus E. E. Do you see how my lips kind of elongate there? E. Live, leave. Sit, seat. Knit, neat. Ship, sheep. Pit, peat. Okay, so that difference between the I and the E really needs to be clear. So let's put these into sentences. Okay, so Pete will fall in that pit. So there are a few short I sounds in there. Pete, which is a long E, Pete will fall in that pit. Pete will fall in that pit. Okay, so try that and get that difference between the E and the I. How about this one? He will not live if I leave. Okay, so we have the long E for he and leave. He will not live if I leave. He will not live if I leave. All right, so that's the short I and the long E. Okay, number 2, the second vowel sound that we want to go through today is the short ah versus the short Okay, ah, ah. Okay, so is definitely more rounded, it's more open. Is the most neutral vowel sound. It's actually the most common vowel sound. It's just It's as neutral as they come. Okay, so let's contrast some words. Hot, hut. Hot, hut. Got, gut. Got, gut. Can you hear the difference between those? Gone, gun. Gone, gun. Lock, luck. Lock, luck. And then not, nut. Not, nut. Okay, if you can hear the difference, then you've taken that first step of awareness. You can hear those and you're like, oh yeah, I hear it. I can hear those too. So let's take it to the next level. Let's put it into sentences. I will not eat that nut. I will not eat that nut. I will not eat that nut. Okay, let's try this. The gun was gone. The gun was gone. It was too hot in the hut. It was too hot in the hut. So feel that out, try it, see if you can kind of match that of what I was saying and imitate that with me so that you can get that clear difference. Now for the third vowel sound that is commonly mispronounced is the long A. Now the long vowels in general, I'm always coaching my students of just like, okay, get that fuller movement, But especially the long A, especially when a nasal sound comes after it. So the N or the M sound are nasal. Nasal meaning the sound goes through the nose. Okay? So that long A sound before a nasal. So words like name, rain, train, brain. Okay? These need that full movement and the N. Okay, so let's take a sentence from one of my favorite musicals, My Fair Lady. And in that musical, there is a speech therapist, basically, that is training this woman how to speak in a specific way. And so they use the word, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. So that's that full A pronunciation. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. Okay, get that fuller movement and you're gonna have a lot more clarity in your pronunciation. All right, so the three main vowels, the I versus E, the ah versus and that long A pronunciation. So really use those and practice those in your pronunciation. You might have problems with these vowels or with other vowels. If you're being asked to repeat yourself, you have to take a really close look at what you are saying versus what a native speaker is expecting to hear. You probably have a pattern of pronunciation errors that are causing this misunderstanding. So once you understand the pattern, then you can work to fix it. So if you want to learn more about some of these error patterns that I commonly see within my program, go ahead and check out this next video. Is it S or Z? American English Pronunciation Rules.